A very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets with your victim ambassador, Big Stone. Now, today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about something that I've been begging our Jamaican youths for this not to happen. Because when something like this happens, ladies and gentlemen, it not just inconvenient the criminals, but it's also inconvenient the law-abiding citizens of this country. And we're talking about the new search power. Cops, soldiers won't need warrant in specified zones if anti-crime bill is passed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, sees it fit based on the wanton killing of our citizens, violence, criminal activities, gang warfare, etc., etc., in putting this bill to the House for pass. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he mentions specified areas. Specified areas can only affect the poor class of people. These specified areas will never be Cherry Garden, Beverly Hills, Jacks Hill, okay, Red Hills. These won't be specified areas. Specified areas also won't be Iron Shore and all those other highfalutin areas. Specified areas are going to be areas that poor people live, areas where the poorer class of Jamaica resides, and those are the people that's going to suffer the most. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know I do not condone violence of any kind. When Big Stone speak to you, we speak about curving violence. We speak about discussing things over with the family members if we have a misunderstanding with the family members. We discuss about this peace management initiative. If you need help from an outsider, bring the outsider in to help and pacify our differences, because after all, we're human beings. But we're just going to take a look in part, and we're also going to read in part what the Prime Minister Andrew Holness says about his new anti-crime bill. Let's take a look. Revealing the government's latest strategy to bring rampant criminality under control, Prime Minister Andrew Holness yesterday tabled legislation that could authorize the security forces to search places, vehicles, or persons within specific areas without a warrant. The legislation, Holness says, would give him, in consultation with the National Security Council, the power to declare any geographical defined area within a single continuous boundary a zone of special operation for up to 2 months. This legislation is designed to give effect to a well-established and practiced security and community building strategy termed Clear, Hold, Build, said Holness in his contribution to the budget debate in Parliament. The Prime Minister said the legislation was drafted under the previous government, but his administration was now taking steps to implement the law. Holness, however, sought to allay fears that the legislation would give the security forces excessive powers to carry out extrajudicial killings. It is not about going in to kill people. The strategy has nothing to do with that, he told his parliamentary colleagues. The Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act of 2017, which was tabled yesterday in Parliament, highlighted the circumstances that would give rise to a declaration of a zone of special operations. Among the circumstances listed in the bill are reasonable grounds to believe that due to rampant criminality, gang warfare, escalating violence and murder, and the threat to the rule of law and public order, it is necessary so to do. A joint force comprising members of the Jamaica Defence Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force will have powers under the law to establish a cordon for a period of 24 hours around or within the zone. Additionally, the joint force can impose a curfew for up to 72 hours in the zone, during which time persons within that zone will be required to remain in their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by a member in charge of the operation. Without warrant, and this is the part, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been warning you about, I've been warning Jamaicans about, not to give up this right. Curtail the violence. Speak to your sons and your daughters or your nephews. Speak to them about doing this, because once you give up this right, ladies and gentlemen, it's very hard for you to get it back. So let's continue. Without warrant, and this is the part, ladies and gentlemen, that I want you to pay close attention to. Without warrant, the bill provides for a member of the joint force to search any place, vehicle or person within a zone without a warrant, upon reasonable suspicion that an offense is in the course of being committed, has been, or is about to be committed. In carrying out a search, a constable may seize any vehicle, article, or document that will assist in preventing or controlling public disorder. However, the seizure of any tool of a lawful trade of business or any article or document that is subject to legal professional privilege is prohibited. A member of the joint force shall, as far as is possible, having regards to available resources, use a body camera when conducting operation within a zone. The Prime Minister also tabled legislation to establish the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency as an independent elite body dedicated to combating serious crime. Meanwhile, the opposition spokesman on national security, Peter Bunting, said the proposed law could be unconstitutional. It seems to give the Prime Minister and the Cabinet the power to impose a state of emergency without having the normal parliamentary review of the state of emergency, which Parliament has when its state of emergency has to be reviewed. It also seems to give the Commissioner of Police the ability to impose curfews. This is something that has always been reserved for the Minister, who is responsible to Parliament, because a curfew is another imposition on rights. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. The Prime Minister of Jamaica has had it up to his head top. Crime and violence every single year, ladies and gentlemen. How crime figure soars. People are losing their life left and right. Men, women, children, old folks. And this is what I personally did not want to happen to my people in Jamaica. When the police or the military has this right just to stop and search anyone they so choose without a warrant in a specified zone, as they classify, it gives them the right to do just about anything. Even though, let me reiterate, the Prime Minister says it does not give the police or the military any right to just go in and kill people. But ladies and gentlemen, we know the guns are out there. We know there are innocent people out there that live close to where the guns are. There gonna be some miserable happenings. I'm telling you, it's not gonna run as smooth as it ought to be. So this is what I'm begging you Jamaicans, and I'm begging all of Jamaica. Please, speak to your young ones. Talk to your sons. Talk to your sons. Beg them to get off the street at a certain time if they have no business being on the streets. Talk to them. Let them understand how serious this situation is. You don't have to be caught in a specified zone for 72 hours. You have your business to take care of. You don't want to be driving around the streets and every corner you turn there's a police roadblock. The place will become a police state. Your freedom will be curtailed. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about curtailing freedom, you can bet your bottom dollar that is the poorer class of people who's going to feel the full brunt of the law. This is something that we have to think about. This is a last resort based on what is happening in this country. And I can't say I blame the Prime Minister. I can't say I blame the Prime Minister. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we beg you all the time to iron out your differences. Whatever you do, you don't have to pull a gun. Whatever you do, you don't have to use a machete. Whatever you do, you don't have to use a stone. if these are situations where you can reason it out, talk to one another. You used to talk before. Most of these happenings and most of these misfortune, ladies and gentlemen, are people who know each other. These are misfortune, ladies and gentlemen, that are done upon people who know each other, went to school together, eat out of the same pot together, play the same marble game together, grow up together. These are kids who know each other for the longest time. This is not good. Jamaica, this is not good for us at all. Think about it. Let me hear your response. Go to the comment section below. And if you feel like subscribing to my video, like I always says, go ahead and subscribe, because guess what? These are the type of informational video that I will bring. Big Stone, not into the lay and the ray. Let's get to the truth about how we can better build this beautiful country that I call and you call home. That is Jamaica. Thank you very much for watching. Have a pleasant day.